1041 The Wolf, Dan and Shay, Bigger Houses, Wednesday morning, 7:26. It's windy out there. Not overly cold. The wind makes it feel cold. We've had quite the weather. Before we even hop into this, let me just remind everyone, 2-hour late starts at school in Yankton, Vermilion, Elk Point, Jefferson, Wagner, Bon Home, Avon, Crofton, a 10 a.m. start. Northeast Community College in Nebraska, also a 10 a.m. start. There's more. Just stay on top of it. Keep yourself safe. Now, with that in mind, welcome to Behind the Badge, the second installment. We are here with Yankton Chief of Police Jason Foote. Welcome, sir.
Good morning.
And also WNEX General Manager Bill Holst here to make sure I don't say anything bad.
Hey, Tim. Good morning.
From the history annals of Chief Foote.
So back in those younger days of mine, we drove Ford Crown Vics, obviously rear-wheel drive. Great car for patrol. I won't knock it there, but when it snowed, it was horrible. And I remember having to, stick to the snow routes. But as soon as you had to go off the routes and try to get through that windrow that was left behind by the plows, there was many times where I found myself stuck kicking snow out from underneath my tires trying to get through so I could get to the call for service or go help the public. So those are some of my memories, and I finally, after about the third or fourth time one day, went to administration and I said, hey, let's go to TSC and let's go get some little shovels to throw in our trunks.
What did you find was the optimal speed for busting through a windrow?
It was gun. As soon as you turned the corner, got your rear end straight, you just hit it and hammered it and went through as fast as you could. Because you didn't want to be stuck, because if you had to call for help, it was going to cost you.
Now, from a law enforcement standard, you go through training, you go through basic. They teach you the EVOC course, the emergency vehicle operation. I don't think, if I remember it, the last time I saw the itinerary for that, nowhere out there does it have getting through windrows of snow.
Correct. There is no education for that. You do learn from your FTOs when you're first starting out, if you're lucky enough to go through a snowstorm, but most of the time you're not, and you figure that out on your own once you're by yourself.
Now, this is not as cold as we saw a couple weeks ago, which luckily we didn't have this with that bitter cold we had, but from your years of experience, what is the most important piece of cold weather equipment that you need to get into the outside going to work?
So this head has been bald since 2001. So it is a stocking cap. I have one with me all the time.
Did you find that the longer you're bald, the more acclimated you become, you can handle it longer?
You can handle it for a little while, but it gets cold pretty quick.
Because I found that, after a few years, it doesn't get cold as fast as it did the first few years.
Well, you're tougher than I am.
There isn't a lot up there. And I always tell my wife that grass doesn't grow on a busy street, and she always points out it also doesn't grow in concrete. So that's just sort of where I'm left at for that. Behind the Badge, every Wednesday morning here on 1041 The Wolf. I'm going to give the final word to the boss.
I just want to extend our appreciation to the chief. He and I have been working on making the public aware of first responders, and Behind the Badge is our second run at a new name. And how did we come by that?
Just talking about the experience and trying to get the public to know the officers and that they're actually a human being rather than just a robot out on the street taking calls and writing tickets.
And I have to tell you, the job you've done in terms of building up the esprit de corps and a team is just amazing. Congratulations, so amazing.
Thank you.
And if you got a question, the Yankton Police Department, you can go on any of their social media, drop your questions to them that you'd like asked on Behind the Badge. You can do it at 1041thewolf.com or through our Twitter or Instagram or any of those assorted social media outlets. We'll take those questions, we will use them, let you get to know the people who are behind the badge, who are behind the wheel, the folks who show up if you're in a bad way and you have to make that call. We're here to make them more accessible to you, and we thank them, including you, Chief Foote, for coming in and letting us make that happen.
Thank you, I appreciate it. You're not going to be stuck with me all the time.
Oh, darn, I had like a list of questions for my own. All right, 1041 The Wolf is Behind the Badge on your Wednesday morning.